everyone, and welcome to another edition of Meet the Candidates. I'm your host, Sean Leary, and today we are talking about the school committee. Today I am joined by Scott Swain. Scott, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Sean. I appreciate it.
It's nice to have you on the show. So let's start with the easiest question, and that is, who are you?
My name is Scott Swain. I'm running for Marshfield School Committee. I'm a 21-year resident of Marshfield. I actually grew up in Dorchester and I'm a transplant down here. I have a wife and two teenage boys. For my education, I went to St. Brennan's in Dorchester. I also went to BC High, Westfield State, and I got my MBA at Northeastern. For a work information, I've been a financial analyst for over 30 years, working in the financial industry at various firms and also doing various duties.
Nice. So let's talk about, why have you decided to run for school committee?
I've decided to run the school committee because I love my children, I value other people's children, and I also love the community. I feel I have a lot to offer in the school committee. I spent a lot of time going to meetings, listening to meetings, and trying to figure out some of the issues and problems and a solution to some of the issues that we face as a community in our schools. I think that because I work with numbers, I'll be able to help with the budget that we currently have, and I'd like to see that budget put online. And I think I can provide a collaborate, thoughtful voice to the committee where we value our students. I think we all have shared goals in that we want the school to be better or get better, and also have students be proud to be coming from Marshfield.
And so, some Civics 101, what, in your words, is the role of the school committee?
From school committee, they have actually a lot of functions, but I think the three main ones are budget. They have to approve and view the budget and try to get as much money and allocate it so that we're using the money properly and at best we could do. We also hire and fire and monitor or evaluate the superintendent. I know recently we received a new one, so I don't think that function's really gonna pertain here. And lastly, we're in charge of policy. And we create the policy, we make sure that the high school is following that policy.
So what do you feel you would bring differently than the current incumbent candidates?
First of all, I'd like to say that any person that does serve on the school committee, they actually have my respect. There's a lot of time and effort put in, and I think a lot of people don't know that. I've gone to a lot of meetings there at the school committee, and I see the work that they've done. From my perspective, I think I can do a lot of things differently. One is I'm good with numbers, and I think that at this time, I think that we need more people on the committee that work with numbers. I think the budget is going to be one of the most important things in Marshfield. I don't think we'll be getting some of the money from COVID and other places. I also bring a different perspective in a sense that I went to public and private schools, and so has my kids. And I think there's little certain things that you can tweak that can possibly provide solutions to some of the problems and issues that the school is facing. Namely, one thing is communication between the school board and parents itself. I think that I'd like to see more parents be more proactive into going to meetings or view meetings and possibly set up a suggestion box that they can send a question in, which will lead to further questions, but at least there's a suggestion box out there that they can view information or previous questions.
Sure. And what do you feel are the biggest challenges facing the school system right now?
I think in Marshfield, I think there's a couple, and I think the first one is the budget, like I specified earlier. I think the most important thing we can do on the school committee is produce a itemized budget and put that out on the website. I think that allows people to view the money that's being spent, and so that they understand where all the money is going, and then maybe ask questions of why we're spending this money. It's the taxpayers' money. I know Massachusetts does not require that, but towns like Duxbury have done that, and I think it just puts you on a level playing field where you can kind of compare your information to Duxbury and see maybe are we spending too much or getting charged too much on certain things. And I think that's important to do. Secondly, I think that upgrading school facilities like the roofs is very important. I think over the years we've kind of pushed the pedal, now it's pebble, and now it's became a boulder. And it's you know, the roofs, facilities, playgrounds need to be updated according to state law.
So, what's it been like running for office? Is this the first time you've run for
First time I
position?
run for office. For me, it's definitely different. I'm more of a numbers guy. I'm not a person that goes out there and likes to put themselves out there. So I think it's a little scary asking people to trust you for their kids with your ideas. But I think it's been rewarding because you meet people, and I think by listening, you come up with new ideas and understand the problems. And I feel like I'm a good solution person by listening to that. I either know the solution myself, or I can find people that will kind of give me more information so I can find the solution.
Great. So, was there any specific thing you want to focus on? I know you wanted to talk about the budget, but was there anything in the budget that you maybe think maybe they're spending either too much money on or not enough?
I guess, I mean, the problem we have with the budget is you don't see anything.
Right.
So I can look at a budget on DESI, and it's going to give you administration. So you don't know how much the superintendent's making. And they kind of bucket it so that I think that's why you want to see it. But from the budget standpoint, not really, because the only thing my question would be is, I know we're spending $276,000 on computers coming up. And my question would probably be, are we getting the right price for that? And, you know, what else did they look at in the sense that how can they combine that purchase with possibly VOTEC? And with VOTEC and the community of schools, could we get a better deal if we could combine that purchase along with, you know, 10 other schools plus VOTEC, and you might have a purchase of, you know, 8,000 computers. Can we get a discount on that? So I guess that would be something I would look at.
Great. Yeah. To get into some of the latter questions, you know, what do you think the school system's doing well? What are some of the strengths?
I think some of the strengths of the school system is I think they do a good job at recognizing students. I was at a school committee meeting, not this past one, the previous one, where they recognized student athletes. And, you know, I think they're excited to get that opportunity to, you know, see everything. The only thing I was somewhat disappointed in is that, you know, if you know the agenda and the student athletes being there, you want to show up and support them. And I think I was one with a couple of parents. So, you know, I think that the school committee doesn't make it easy in letting people know where the meetings are. It's on the website, and the website is very difficult to navigate. And I wish they would either send an email out and let people know what's on the agenda, why it's important, and you know, even like send the place where it's going to be, because sometimes you might think it's here and you have to go look online to find it somewhere else.
So there are, of course, multiple school committee members. How would you go about working cohesively?
I think it's, you know, pretty easy coming in the financial industry because it's the same thing. You're working with portfolio managers, analysts, clients, and each one has a different personality. And working with them, the same goal is to do best for the client. So I think when you're doing collaboration, I think you're putting what you value most for that client, and you kind of negotiate with everyone else to do the same thing. On each side, each person on the school committee wants to do best for the student, the school, and have the best for them. And I think that part is usually the easy part. that you know where the goal is. Now the hardest part is just getting there and negotiating what you feel like is most important, and understanding and listening what they feel like most important. And it's a learning process, especially if a new candidate gets there. He needs to understand what their values are and what your values are, and how to work with them.
Are you involved in the community in any other way besides running for school committee?
Yes, over the years I've been involved with the community. Mostly my boys play sports, and working in Boston made it difficult to do anything else. So I was a flag football coach for, I think, 8 years. I also was assistant basketball coach for travel during the COVID year, right after the COVID year. And I've been an assistant coach for the summer league, teaming up with another coach, so when we can't make it, one makes it, or we're doing the clock. From work perspective, I've done crayons and cradles. I also done some stuff with Pine Street Inn, and I also did a prison book volunteer, and those three were more of, I was in Boston on my way home, and I was able to get to those where I don't think there was any opportunities at night to do that in Marshfield.
Getting into some of the fun questions here. What's something people might not know about you? What's a fun fact about Scott Swain?
Fun fact, probably I play ping pong a lot. My wife bought an outdoor ping pong table, and she religiously tells me that I have to play with her. No matter what weather, it's out there, and if it's sun's out, she wants me to play, so that's a fun fact.
That's a great activity for you and your wife.
Yes.
What is your favorite television show of all time?
My favorite television show of all time? That's kind of difficult for me because I like a lot of shows way back in the day. Right now I'd have to say Blue Bloods, but I watch a lot of sports, but I'm not hooked to the TV. I don't watch enough TV to, watch a series, because I can get on the TV once and then my kids are,
they monopolize it on you.
So so I kind of stay away from those series ones, and I'm not a binge watcher either, so I can't sit and watch more than one or two shows.
We've heard a lot of old shows actually on here. One candidate liked I Love Lucy. Was there any, you said some old shows, was there any that stuck out for you?
X-Files maybe, if you go really back to the old shows, as a kid, you're watching different things like Battlestar Galactica or something like that. But I feel like when as an adult, you try to watch them, you can't watch them anymore. It's like
the magic's gone.
The magic's gone, and the graphics. I think, you're so used to the new graphics that it's impossible to like them. And even my kids say the same thing. If you even put an old show on, they look, how could you watch that? That's so fake.
And it was like the peak of special effects at the time,
yes,
too.
Yes. That was, models moving, 2 inches at a time or something like that. So.
That's how it was for me in the 90s, watching like Power Rangers or something, and then you look back, it's just some guy in a suit like kicking over like model buildings.
Yes.
Or the Godzilla from like back in the day. And if we were to check out your iPod, your radio, your CD collection, what would we find? What do you like to listen to?
I'm a little weird in a sense that I like to listen to everything.
Okay.
And I don't really have one favorite. I mean, I have groups I listen to a lot, but I don't have one favorite group. I like songs.
Anything recent?
Recent, like I said, I'll just listen to songs.
Okay.
Come on. So I mean, you have the, going back, 70s, 80s, 90s. You listen to everything like that. I know the young kids are starting to like rap and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I'll listen to it once in a while, but it's tough.
And then to kind of bring it back around, why do you believe you're the best candidate?
I believe I'm the best candidate because I think I can provide solutions for issues. And I know I have a background in finance, and I think that finance is definitely going to be needed going forward, especially with the budget and everything that's surrounding that budget. Someone needs to be able to look at the budget and do analysis on it and make sure we're spending the right amount of money.
Mm.
Also coming from, having my kids in private school and public school, I see little tweaks that, maybe I can forward to the school and say, for example, looking at the website, I don't see anything about how to apply for SAT. I don't see any college, information out there, due dates. And I don't see anything about when you should get your essays into the teachers.
Mm.
And I think that's important. I mean, if we're teaching our kids to be college educated and go to college, I think we have to provide them some information so they can go forward. In addition, I think that, I understand as a parent and being on the opposite side of the school committee, that the school committee has to be more proactive in reaching out to the parents.
Mm.
I don't think you get any good results without including the parent. And if you get parent participation, and that will bring the student participation along with the teachers, and I think that's the most important, that we can better our schools with that.
And if people want to find out more about Scott Swain, where can they go?
I have a Facebook political page. It's Scott Swain for School Committee on
Great.
Facebook.
Perfect. And with that, that's all the time we have today on Meet the Candidates. Scott, I want to say thank you for coming in today. It's been a pleasure meeting you.
Can I ask you one question?
Sure.
You're interviewing everyone over the years for school.
Yes.
What do you feel like that's most important to you that maybe Marshfield schools are lacking?
What's most important? I should say I'm not from Marshfield, so I didn't go
Okay.
here. But I think having thick skin is probably good because people are obviously passionate about their children, and they can have some very intense opinions about how things should be done.
Mm-hmm.
And so being able to kind of take some harsh criticism is really beneficial if you're going to be, a member of the school committee, because this town, it's a very passionate community, and they'll tell you exactly how you feel, how they feel about things. So being able to receive that well, I think, is a huge skill.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thanks for asking me a question. Well, folks, that's all the time we have for, on Meet the Candidates today. This has been Scott Swain running for a school committee. And May 3rd is Election Day, so get out and use your voice. Your vote is your voice, so please exercise it. And Scott, thanks again for being on the show.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Good luck.
Yep.
And folks, we'll see you in the next one, and make it a great day.